Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here. Let me tell you two things you did not know about the new CDL road test that's coming out. Now these are two things a lot of people are not even talking about, and it's definitely something that's important for you to know. Thing number one is going to be there is no banking when it comes to the new test. So what do I mean by that? So currently, there's three parts of the CDL road test if you're not aware. You have your pre-trip inspection, you're going to have your parking, and then you're going to have your road driving, right? So in this example, say that you pass your pre-trip and you fell on your parking, and then you never took your road. So when you go back to the test, you don't have to do the pre-trip again as long as your permit is still valid from the first test. That means you can actually start on the parking. And then if you pass the parking, you can go on the road. And say in this same example, you fell on the road, but you passed both of these two. When you go back, all you got to do is the road portion of the test itself. When the test changes over to the new test itself, anything that you've done on the old test does not transfer over to the new test. That's what I mean by that. So say you only have road portion only for the old test, and now you want to put it on the new test, you're going to have to start all the way from the pre-trip inspection, section 1 again. Now once you actually start the new test, there is banking that will continue. So once you start the new test, say the first time you're taking the new test, you pass pre-trip, you fell on parking for whatever reason, when you go on the next time for the new CDL road test, you can just start on the parking portion as well. But it does not transfer from one test to another test. That's something that's super important that most people are not aware of, right? If you're a student here at Driving Academy, we are already training you all the skills that you need to actually be able to pass both tests. So don't worry about that, right? There's no extra training needed. Once we move fully into the actual new test, we're going to start modifying it and getting a lot more specific. But if you're not a student here, definitely want to make sure that you are aware of what these new rules are before you become surprised. Because think about it, you're going to be, oh, yeah, I already passed my pre-trip, I don't have to worry about that again. And now all of a sudden you show up at the test and they're going to make you do a whole new pre-trip inspection again. Can get pretty frustrating, and it's definitely not fun to do, right? So the second thing that you did not know about the new CDL road test is what's actually going to happen with human nature, right? So then the last biggest change that happened on the CDL road test side was in 2015. This is when the test went from a half-hour long test to a 2.5-hour long test, right? That being said, there's a huge change from one test to the other. In the next couple months, what wound up happening was all these examiners were just freshly trained, and they all were still trying to interpret the rules because everyone saw it a little bit differently. So we would have students go right after this new test got implemented. For one examiner, passed, said the same exact thing for the next examiner, and he failed, right? And vice versa. And then when we tried to communicate with the examiners, they said, no, this is what the book is. It doesn't really matter what the book says, it matters what the examiner says in their mind itself. So that means that if you're going to local DMVs anywhere in the country, you're going to have that experience for the next couple months, because you're going to have, okay, yeah, I remember the training was here, but I'm so used to doing the test the old way, so I'm going to grade the old way, and you forgot something here, and then you're going to have the other extreme that says, I'm going to forget about the old way. I'm only going to take whatever's here, and I'm going to be super strict on the new rulings there. And you're going to get a whole mix-up of different personalities, different examiners training a whole different way, until everybody kind of over time becomes closer and closer to the right goals, right? The cool thing about coming to a school like ours is that we have our own third-party testing site. So we are actually in the process of getting all of our examiners certified for this new test, so everyone's going to be exactly the same on their testing criteria, just like we do now. We're trying to make an extremely fair test, and we're trying to make sure that every examiner is testing at the same standards according to the local, state, government, and national requirements, right? That being said, going through a school like ours is going to be a lot less headache, because you're going to have a lot less of the whole up and down thing. Because the other thing that you have to understand is, if you're going to a school that's not third-party testing, that means that the actual instructors who are training you will only get the information from the first couple students who failed the test, and then they'll start modifying the way that they're training. It's kind of backwards, and you think that the DMV is going to tell us exactly how to train people, but no, they don't tell you anything. They just change the test, they train the examiners, and then just think about how that kind of gets backed up, right? The examiners don't really know what they're doing. They're going to fail certain students. The students are going to come back to the instructor, hey, they failed me for this, this, and that. Okay, the instructors are then going to say, okay, we have to change our training methods to this, this, and that. And then that student goes to the next test, he fails for something completely different. So as you can see, it's going to take a few months for everything to kind of line up. The cool thing about us is it's a closed loop. We're the ones training you, we're the ones testing you. So that means once we know exactly what our examiners are testing on, we're going to make sure that we modify our training to be and match that up as smooth and as simple as possible for you. So there's a lot less headaches for you getting your CDL license, because our mission is to help 1 million people just like you get on the road to freedom with the CDL license. And we can't do that if we make it more complicated than it has to be. We went through tremendous expense, tremendous crazy approvals just to get that third-party testing approved. So definitely make sure you take advantage of it. If you want more information about how our program works, how to get started, all you need is $500 down. We're open up 7 days a week. And like I said, it's a one-stop shop. We can do the training, and we're certified to give you the CDL road test as well. So give us a call, 908-525-3609, 908-525-3609. Thank you, and have a great day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.